Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Kate Burdish, and whether you are new or a returning viewer to my content, I'm thrilled to share this video with you. Today's video is directed towards parents of young readers, and we are diving into how to know if your child is struggling with reading and what may be causing those difficulties. But before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on future content. First of all, I would like you all to know that it is completely normal for children to be struggling while they are reading and can also be very easily remedied. You may be wondering how to tell if your child is struggling with reading so you can help them keep progressing in their learning. Well, to make it easy for you to identify where your child is needing assistance, I will be listing the most common reasons why students have difficulties while reading. As I go through the list, make sure to notice the ones that sound most like your child so you can offer them specialized assistance. Alright, let's get started. Number 1. Difficulties with phonics. Phonics is fundamental to learning how to read, and it involves understanding the relationship between letters and their corresponding sounds. Your child may be struggling with letter-sound correspondence. This presents itself with the mispronunciation of words, or hesitating when encountering unfamiliar letter combinations. This also might mean that your child is not sounding out words properly and may just be guessing based on context rather than decoding them. All of these different factors that come with having difficulty with phonics may lead to blending sounds, which can further damage your child's reading comprehension and fluency. Now we'll be moving on to another common difficulty. Number 2, slow reading. Slow reading is also very common, and some signs include if your child constantly hesitates and speaks slowly as they read, often pausing to sound words out, or guess based on context. It also may indicate difficulties with reading fluency. Okay, moving on to problem number 3, poor reading comprehension. Poor reading comprehension indicates a challenge in fully retaining and grasping information of a written text after reading. The ability to comprehend deep layers of meaning, infer information, and connect ideas between the text and beyond are essential skills to have while reading. There are many different signs to know if your child is struggling with their reading comprehension, which include difficulties summarizing, making predictions, or drawing conclusions. Also, if they have limited engagement with the text and are unable to use the information that they've learned from the text to solve problems. If your child is experiencing any of those symptoms, they may be struggling with their reading comprehension. Great, let's move on to problem number 4, vocabulary challenges. Vocabulary challenges refer to difficulties that children have when they have limited recognition or understanding of words while they are reading. These challenges can significantly impact fluency and comprehension, posing obstacles to a child's overall reading development. Some signs that your child may be experiencing vocabulary challenges is if they have difficulty explaining or defining the meanings of words they encounter while reading. Also, that they might frequently mispronounce words due to the fact that they are unfamiliar with the word's correct pronunciation. Lastly, they may avoid reading material that has unfamiliar vocabulary because it hinders their reading comprehension. If you have experienced any of these signs with your children, it may be a sign that they are struggling with their vocabulary. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Number 5, dyslexia. This word may sound scary, but it is most harmful when it is ignored. If your child constantly has difficulties with trying to decode words, often either switching letters or words around while they are reading, and has difficulties connecting letters to their sounds, it may be a sign that your child is experiencing dyslexia. If you as a parent have seen several of these signs within your child, it is highly beneficial to seek out a specialist for testing. It also might be beneficial to reach out to either teachers or education professionals to seek personalized assistance. Early intervention and specialized support can often make a significant difference in a child's reading abilities. Lastly, I want you all to understand that if your child is experiencing dyslexia, it has no indication on their intelligence level. It just means that your child's brain works a little bit differently than the typical brain does. And fortunately, dyslexia is 100% treatable, and if a child receives the correct assistance that they need, they will be able to thrive while reading. Number 6, attention and focus. Have you noticed that your child has difficulties remaining focused while they are reading? This lack of focus that your child may have while reading will lead them to have many distractions while they are reading and consequently making their reading comprehension less. Having a good attention while reading is essential because it will allow your child to read at a higher level and read for longer periods of time. However, if your child is struggling with their attention, there are many reasons that could be happening. These can be due to conditions such as ADHD, energy levels, lack of interest about the subject that they're reading about, and just a natural disposition to reading. If your child is experiencing this, please do not be alarmed. All of these were 100% fixable, and if you go see my part 2 to this video, you will see all the solutions to these different issues. Let's move on to our last issue. Number 7, behavioral signs. This presents itself as a child being very visibly upset and frustrated while they are reading. It is also normal for a child to outright avoid reading at any cost. What all of this signals is the fact that your child is not experiencing enough exposure to reading materials. Because your child may not be practicing or getting enough exposure to reading in general, it could cause them to be falling behind, which would cause them to feel insecure about their lack of abilities and just outright want to ignore it at any cost. To stop your child from feeling angry with themselves or insecure, it is essential to have your child practice more reading. If your child is experiencing any of these things, first of all, I do not want you to be alarmed. At least 20% of children have difficulties when it comes to learning how to read. Additionally, reading difficulties have nothing to do with intelligence and have no indication on it. All humans' brains work differently and learn differently. So if your child has difficulties that other kids may not be experiencing, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with them. I promise you that your child is capable of reading, and it is very important that your child feels that you think that they are capable of reading as well. It is essential that your child feels enough confidence to not give up while they are reading, and you as the parent have the power to give that confidence to your child. Make sure that you constantly are reassuring them, making sure that they know that you believe in them. If your child is struggling with any of these challenges, like I said before, it is nothing to be concerned about, but definitely there is things that we can do to improve your child's reading capabilities, which will improve your child's life in school and outside of school. There are many exercises that you can do with your learner to see great improvement. If you are interested in learning what exercises and tricks you can do to help your child succeed in reading, make sure to check out my additional parents video where I will be covering all of these exercises and tips. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed.